suppose we have to still talk, isn't it?
No, but I'm just assuming he's muted us on the production side, so you and I can still have a conversation.
Kick off in the next minute or two. Do apologize for the delays.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Evesports EGL 1 2020 main event. My name is Hayes and I'm joined by Wookie Triple XL. We are here with the first game of the event. Wookie, I'm sure this must be a massive load off your shoulders, finally getting this project in the air, off the runway.
Yeah, no, it's my back is a little bit sore from carrying it so hard, as it goes. I'm a bit used to it. Maybe not in CS anymore for the better part of the last half decade. But yeah, no, it is quite nice to finally get into the main event.
Yeah.
Build-ups, qualifiers, all that sort of stuff is now behind us. We have the 16 teams, and it's nice to also have a tournament where we've been given allowance to field so many teams and actually have a bracket that's so big.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, this is the Evesports EGL 1 2020 main event. It is hosted by Evesports and sponsored by Intel, and it's sort of just an event that is going to be playing out over the next couple of weeks. It's a 16-team double elimination bracket. There were 4 teams that were directly invited, 8 teams made it through the qualifier, and then 4 teams made it through the wild card as well to form our 16-team double elimination bracket. We're going to be having matches every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 on this exact channel, same time, same place. Mark it down on your calendar. I think it's like literally the next 7 weeks we're going to be having games, so definitely make sure that you guys join us along this journey, because we're going to have some fantastic Counter-Strike on display. And let's just all take a moment to be super grateful that we're sitting here with Counter-Strike, right? Because normally the season in South African CS would be ending after Rage, once the big events in the start of October, which was actually Comic-Con, has been played out this time. Normally that's the end of the season. Everybody starts shuffling the rosters around, and we come back in Feb. Now we actually have another fantastic adventure, 50,000 Rand on the table for these teams to be fighting it out, and it's just so awesome that the season continues and the great games continue to flow.
100%, dude. It is, like you said, it's exciting that there's an event after all the main sort of scheduled events, and that we get to do this over quite a sort of protracted amount of time. It's not putting pressure on guys who are probably, a lot of the guys are probably writing exams and stuff,
Yeah,
that they would only have to play one game a week
sure.
effectively, and in certain weeks they won't even actually be playing because of
Yeah.
how we're drawing sort of out the tournament. Quite a nice relaxed schedules, what we wanted to go for. And that's why we can be so inclusive and have the wild card segments and that sort of stuff live.
Yeah.
And from next week, I will give you guys a little bit of inside information. We are going to start doing some on-screen giveaways where I will allow Hayes to throw various free things at your general direction. So we will be kicking off with those, and then we will have a
Reese.
double giveaway on the
Okay.
finals weekend of the 6th of December. So if there
Are you
is a
allowed
time
to?
to be here, it's now.
Yeah. Are you allowed to give us any tips or information as to what those giveaways might entail?
Nope. I'm
Nothing.
going to give nothing, no
All right.
information
Well,
out at this point in time.
I tried, guys. I tried. But definitely stick around to be a part of those giveaways and message everybody. Let them know that this event is going on. Let's get them involved. Let's get as many people as we can watching and supporting this fantastic event. We'll be getting underway with the game shortly. We have got Gamers Anonymous Clan versus Royalty Esports on the table this evening. Certainly a team it's a fairly one-sided affair, I think it's fair to say. Royalty Esports have proven to be one of the seriously up-and-coming teams who are looking to try and get their names in and amongst the top in the country. They've been having some good runs in recent events and just looking convincing in general. I'm really a big fan of this team. I think they have a very solid balance between firepower and structure. And I mean, maybe lacking a little bit of experience, but they've shown that hasn't really been much of a downfall for them. I love the way that they approach their games, and I'm really looking forward to see how they're going to be performing in this next event, because now people have expectations about them. We know what they're capable of doing. Let's see if they can continue in that vein of form now that everybody's going to be watching out for them. I'm really keen to find out.
Oh, 100%. As you said, sort of, you recanted what we had discussed previously. And I just looking at the vetoes and stuff, I'm just going to sort of comment on that. We do have the first map looking like, well, the picks from GAC's side was for Dust 2, and then Royalty picked Inferno, and then the last map will be
Okay.
Mirage.
So I'll just tell you right now, it's going to be a Swift 2-0, Reese. Did you say that that GAC picked Dust 2?
Yes, they have picked us
Okay,
too,
well,
sir.
as far as I know, that's actually Royalty's favorite map. It's not my favorite map that I've seen them on. Like, I prefer seeing them on Nuke and Inferno, but they love to play Dust as well. And their three really good maps are Dust 2, Nuke, and Inferno. So the fact that they've got two of their three of their strongest maps in this pool right now spells a bit of a disaster for GAC. I'm slightly concerned for their health and well-being. We might have to get the ambulances on the hotline, Reece, just in case we got a bit of a slaughter here.
That's why we've got Casper in the chat. He's here to give them free bills of points to, patch the wounds. I kind of agree with you. I think if that's the case, they probably should have gone for maybe something a little bit outside of the loop, like an overpass or a train, where they can put down a really dominant sort of CT side on those kind of maps.
Sure.
Perhaps may have been a better thing, because Dust 2 is really pubby in a lot of cases, even in the higher sort of tiers of CS. Pub rounds can work there because it's so well known. It's been played since 1.1 days. I mean, the Dust 2 came out literally when I was still a young man. So it's that map that's been around for that amount of time. And in the same breath, Inferno is also kind of like that. It does change, and it's become far less CT sided than it used to be. But like it's still that map that's been around since the 1.5 era and been played consistently in a competitive format since then. Like the changes to train, if you look at like 1.6 train and this iteration, you can't like hide under trains, for instance. You can't hide under the bomb site. The bomb site's been moved into the middle of the A area instead of being back in the hallway. Like it's actually gone through some significant changes, whereas Dust 2 and Inferno, it's more or less par for the course. Nothing's changed that radically.
Thing is, Reese, what I will say is I think this game is older than probably everybody in the server right now. Maybe one or two people. So I mean, most
To
of
me.
them they see
Don't do this to
Overpass
me.
as old of the map as Inferno. Though that may not be the case, Reese. We are going into the game here. The best of 3 upper bracket match between Gamers Anonymous Clan and Royalty Esports is going to be kicking off on Inferno. Certainly one of the strengths of Royalty and Gak. They've got a massive task on their hands right now, trying to be competitive in this game. They've got the individuals on the team that people will recognize. They've got recognizable names on the server, but will they be able to put up the performance to go toe-to-toe with Royalty? We're going to find out as Royalty are streaming into this B-bomb site by Clasm. He just taps Xe through the smoke, but Frag's coming back for Royalty as they start taking a commanding grip on this bomb site. One does come through for Lord of War, though, meaning that all of a sudden, Gamers Anonymous Clan, they're trying to force the issue here, Reese. They want to get back into this bomb site before the bomb plants even come through, and that leaves Lord of War in such an awkward position, stuck between a rock and a hard place. He goes down.
Yeah, you really don't want to get pincered like that between two enemies. It just makes you all work twice as hard. And in that position, he's even stuck, let's say, with a 100-degree kind of turn to get accuracy on that while guys are, shoulder peeking with Glocks and stuff. Not an ideal start. I think I actually quite liked, I don't know if it was on purpose, what they did at the start of the round, just sending out sort of probes for an A or mid push like peak and then for B, and then rotating into B. But yeah, the raw aim and skill of Royalty, just way too much for them to handle there.
Yeah, and that's pretty much going to be the theme of this game, Reese. It's going to be whether or not Gamers Anonymous Clan can contest this overwhelming power that Royalty have over them in terms of the fragging ability alone. We've got some seriously hard-hitting youngsters on this Royalty team in the way of Xe and Leggy, and Doobie's another player who's like really consistent and sort of up there top of the scoreboard more often than not. Although, let's just talk a bit more about Gamers Anonymous Clan here, because this is an eco round, so we can ramble on a little bit. So obviously this Gamers Anonymous Clan was embroiled in some sketchy situations a few months ago where Titan was caught using that smoke bug. Whether it was in officials or not is up for discussion. Regardless, they ended up being disqualified from the Comic-Con, or rather the Telkom VS Gaming Masters Season 5 main event. So this name, this clan, they're going to be looking to redeem themselves and show that we actually we are about, we do have the ethics, as it would be, to get back into the competitive scene in South Africa. So I'm keen to see this is an opportunity for them to redeem themselves. Like I said, a lot of the names have changed, but still the organization's name remains the same. It was dragged through the mud, and now they're going to be looking to redeem it, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's quite an apt assessment to make. It's never easy to come back from that. I sort of, my heart goes out to the guys that are in there who are genuinely competing and not cheating and stuff. Like, they have to deal with so much backlash and stuff. And it's I found, I would say, in more than half the cases, the people just didn't know. They suspected something, and often it's when captains and coaches and stuff are away from games that these sort of things happen, and it's just so hard for the other 4 guys left in that. So I just hope it doesn't get them, mentally.
I want to touch on that a bit more, but just going to focus on the gun round now, because it's quite an interesting point you bring up there that we can talk a bit more about, and how it affects our other teammates when they don't even know what's going on. Anyway, back into the game here. Gamers Anonymous Clan mustering up their first gun round. Rifles across the board, and they actually have a better buy than Royalty right now. They've got superior weaponry, so it's a good opportunity for them to get on the board. The problem is if they lose this round, this half could start to get away from them. It is early, but Royalty, once they get momentum, they become a tough beast to stop.
I like the setup. The Clasm's in a really good position. If he can make something happen through the smoke, he opts rather to back off. They are going to go around the arch side where Zane Insane is waiting for them. They give up the arch position. I think they probably could rotate him, but Zane gets another one, which is pretty good. It's going to be traded out. No, he's actually going to go down. And they do get the bomb and the 3v1 actually in their favor. And poor Donkey's now left with a Mac 10, a smoke, and some hopes and dreams.
Sounds like the start of a bad joke there.
I only make bad jokes, man.
Poor punchline as well.
100%.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit more. You were saying how, you know, sometimes you have these situations in teams where one player's misdoings end up affecting everybody else drastically just as a result of them being in the team at the time. You think about that Forsaken cheating scandal with Optic India and how that was a roster that had been picked up in India by the Optic, organization. And it was like the first time an Indian team had been picked up by such a massive org, and what a big opportunity that was. And then Forsaken ended up cheating and ruining everybody else in that team's opportunity from probably reaching much greater heights than what they did outside of the Optic org. So that's just the one example that came to mind.
No, 100%. I mean, I think even like if we go back as far as the Kukli scenario and all of that happened there, I mean, you've got a guy that puts up, kind of random results to some extent, and then has a couple of really big games, and you're like, yeah, our player's really hitting his stride, and then the next thing he's banned. It's that feeling for MGR owners, for coaches, for the rest of the team, it's got to be extremely disheartening, to put in all that work and then someone just sort of takes a dump on it. Like,
absolutely. Yeah. Barent, I'm Hayes, so just to confirm whether it is my mic that needs to be increased or not, just let us know, please. As Royalty starts setting themselves up with a bit of a passive default, they've successfully taken map control. You can see they took top banana, they've taken brackets control, and Doobie actually takes a bit of a fight towards A as well. Maybe an overextension. He could have stayed alive for a bit longer because his team was still setting up in banana, but hasn't really changed anything too much. There's still 2 players at the speed bomb side for Gak, and the execute's going to be coming through now. Their Dazzler getting forced down forward, and he's actually able to find 2 kills before he's done. That's a fantastic job by him, and Saber lines them up with the Famas as well. And it completely fell apart for Royalty. I thought they were just going to march into that B bomb site.
That was a really good move from Dazzo there to push through that smoke and get in front, make sure that he's kind of in a weird position, right? You wouldn't expect the CT to be there. So he puts himself in that off angle. The T pushes through. He doesn't see him on the close angle. He gets 1 kill for free. He spams through the smoke, manages to pick up a second one, but he's already done the damage. In a 4v4, you put yourself ahead, and then Saber Fox is there to back up and just clean it up, like really easy. It was actually quite well executed. How's that nade though?
That just did like 180 damage, if not more, collectively across the board to the Royalty players. Speaking about maybe getting an ambulance on the hotline for Gamers Anonymous clan, I mean, we might actually be needing to change the badge on the side of the ambulance.
Quick, someone get an ambulance, but not for me, meme.
Yeah, they're going to be hurting after that one. And they don't even have any util here, Reese, to try and aid their cause and get into this B bomb site. They've just got 4 very injured T players with a few upgraded pistols. In fact, it's only 1 upgraded pistol. It's only Doobie who's got a Desert Eagle. Everybody else has a Glock. And this round should not be going the way of Royalty by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think that's pretty much GG, well played. No re on this round. But looking at the potential for the next round, well, here comes the push into B. They're going to get some area in here for free. They've probably been heard towards the dry area at minimum. Dazzo then puts down 3. EXE manages to pick up 1, but it isn't going to be enough. Dazzo gets himself a 4K. So they get a nice bump on
the ace there.
Oh, did he ace? Oh,
wow. Yeah, he got the ace. He got the first kill as well in the beginning.
nice eco ace from him.
Yeah, a couple ego frags is what we've been calling them lately because it boosts the player's ego, Hey,
100%. I think the thing that Royalty has going for them right now is they're on a 3-loss bonus. So even if they lose this round, they'll actually be just short of a buy. They're probably about $500 to $1,000 short on the next one. So this is actually a pretty important gun run for them, and that's a good way to start it. Dubia picking up a kill in second mid.
Yeah. I mean, it is a pretty big round for Royalty, all things considered. It's been 3 in a row for Gamers Anonymous clan, like you said. And they're starting to find their footing here on the CT side. Remember, this is Royalty's map pick, so they certainly would be expecting to walk away with a fairly easy victory here. But if Gamers Anonymous clan can just apply a bit of early pressure, maybe put some stress in the Royalty camp. Look at this push coming through from Klasm. He's going to be catching Doobie off guard. He actually nearly gets the transfer, but both of those players were pushing in tandem with one another, and so it actually ends up being a nice little 1-for-0 situation.
But they've realized in counter that it's open. They try to take the force. They do get Zane insane, but now they get flanked by Saber Fox. A really nice bit of play. Now there's a 2-on-1 with bomb in hand. But is he going to see Dazzo coming in from behind? He preemptively goes towards Arch, which is actually really clever from Leggy. He's going to get that B bomb site now basically for free.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty well turned around. They were actually I was giving that again to Gak, but they're gonna suddenly realize that Leggy's not on anywhere near A or mid, and only when the
Oh,
bomb plant comes through, Leggy's gonna fake, not knowing obviously what we know,
oh,
that
shame.
he's completely free here on the bomb site.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for him. He drops the molly as well because he's just so concerned that there's an imminent counter-terrorist about to breach the bomb site. Alas, he is still back towards the pillar. This is a very tough position to play a 1 versus 2 out from Reese. As soon as you get the one, it's so difficult to engineer a second frag from this position. Both of the players are going to be coming from top banana, so maybe he can figure out a bit of a lineup here. He's going to be spotting the first player out now. They know exactly where he is as well, and Klasm's just going to take his head clean off. This is looking pretty decent from Gak right now in the early stages of this map. They certainly have come here to play, and maybe this isn't going to be as clean cut as I initially thought.
It's definitely like really good comms. You can actually see it in how they're rotating, how even the spread is as well of their damage and kills. I mean, you've only got really Dazo who's popping off as it were right now, and it's just really clean like rotation. As soon as they realized that they were actually the T's were pushing through mid, he quickly rotated Zayn Insane quickly rotated in behind them along with Saber, and they sort of cut off that position like really quickly, cut it down, which is nice from them. But Zayn, are you going to get caught out? No, he's not. Klasm is there.
Oh.
And then Leggy with the trade, but it is going to be a 2-for-1, which is a bit better for the CT. This is another deco coming, well, a full deco actually coming through, which is quite a returning strat, I think, in CSGO at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Royalty have been able to convert this into a 3 versus 3 situation is pretty decent for them, all things considered. They've got armor on Xe as well. Probably want to drop that AK across to him, God's not dead. But looking at the way that the CTs are setting up right now, if Royalty head towards the A bomb site, they're going to have a very favorable situation, at least numerically speaking. But it seems like they are going to be edging their way towards this B bomb site. I mean, it makes sense. They've got banana control, and they don't want to risk losing any more players trying to take brackets or apartments. And there we go. The AK does get traded across to Xe, so he's going to be the key in this round for Royalty if they're going to be able to get across the line. They've got the util to try and get in the sides as well. Smoke up towards CT, flash as well, but the util coming through from Saber, and he lands the first shot. Accuracy continues to just hold down the angle, and then Zayn Insane can activate as well. Clean defense on that B bomb site.
Such good patience, teamwork there once again. Zayn not overextending and giving his position up for free, making sure that they're fully focused on his teammate who can then take cover, and then he steps out to trade. Really nice bit of work there from them. Very, like you say, very clean. Very, I think this is if I could reference a major sort of international team, I'm getting big vibes from the teamwork from them at the moment.
Whoa, getting some big vibes. How big are those vibes, bro?
Mr. Zantara is big. But the thing that they're doing now as well, I really like this banana position, but it isn't going to work out.
Oh, Leggy just trades Dazo straight through the smoke. He doesn't give a damn in the world. Oh god, just fires off a bullet through banana, and the bullet connects. And somehow, in a puff of smoke, or a puff of dust, this round has all of a sudden ended up in a 3 versus 1. It was like those animations in the cartoons where the two characters just get in this massive fight, and you just see exclamation marks and clouds of dust, and then all of a sudden everything's done. Doobie settles it with a shot onto Zayn Insane, and Royalty get back to winning ways. They bring to an end that 5-win consecutive round streak that Gak had found, and they're gonna have to get themselves back on the road here, our Royalty.
Yeah, they were also a little bit light on cash, to be honest. Even though they were winning rounds, some of it seems, well, it's obvious that it became a bit expensive at some point, because if you're winning 5 in a row, you should have a little bit more bank than a one-round buy. So if they lose this, economically, they're going to be quite on the back foot, to be honest. Royalty has that 3-round loss bonus to work off of, and actually quite a lot of cash on EXE and Leggy, so they will be able to do full buys, absolutely no problem. Even drop for Donkey, who is trailing a little bit there with 150, but they're actually sitting quite pretty.
Yeah.
And it can steamroll quite quickly then into sort of a 7-5 before Gak will get another proper buy.
Yeah, let's see how it plays out right now. They have got the weapons to try and get across the line. That AWP on Dazo as well has been a force to be reckoned with. The AWP on Leggy too. He loves to get in that situation, and Xy's going to find the entry Chasm, and he 180 pivots as he takes down Zayn Insane, who is just desperately trying to trade it out. Off the back of that royalty, they're going to try and stream into the safe outside, but through the smoke ends up being to their detriment. Lord of War welcomes them with open arms and brings it back into a 3 versus 3. Royalty have spilt the milk, but there's no time to cry right now. As they continue to work their way up middle, Donkey holding the angle towards the archway will dispatch of Saberfox. Massive frag there to get the round back into his team's favor. Certainly overzealous from Saberfox. Could have just held the angle towards archway and kept the information for his team. Now Godfather is going to be looking for the entry, and eventually he does come through and find the frag. Took a while for the radar to detect where the player was, but he gets the job done. Now it's Dazo left in a 1v3, and a nice shot onto Donkey. We'll be making things a bit easier here. Nade coming through as well. Will this? No, not going to be connecting. Godfather already all the way back in pit, and I wouldn't mind if Dazo saved this. No shame in saving in a 1v2, especially when a fresh smoke has been dropped in front of you. Okay, but when you hit shots like that, he was even going to be saving, and he realized, oh, right, did I just connect on that? Maybe I should reconsider. But I don't think he's going to be committing for this. He doesn't have a kit, and he's got no more
kits, no util. I think, yeah, time to Jame is definitely the call. If only he had a nade, then maybe he could have pulled off a doja there on the man in the corner of the pit. But Leggy is going to be safe. He's going to drop a whole 16 HP. It's actually quite wild that you can be that close. It's sort of unintuitive for some of the rest of CS, but hey, who are we to argue with Gaben? Dazo pulls ahead though to a 12:05. He is absolutely crushing this map.
I mean, yeah, he's on top of the server right now, and comfortably as well. Doobie next in charge there with 9 frags, and it's early days as well. Dazo's going to have to be the one doing the damage in this round once again, though, Reese, because it's going to be an eco for Gak. Only the AWP at their disposal pretty much this round, complemented by a few upgraded pistols, but outside of that, nothing going the way of Gak. So we should see Royalty getting across the line here once again. Was talking about Leggy with the AWP, so he's like one of those out and out AWPers. Like he just wants the AWP. Doesn't matter if it's Nuke T side, Inferno T side, whenever, wherever. If there's enough money on the team, he wants to have the AWP. And it's a bit different to like normally we'll see AWPers just sort of picking and choosing when they use the AWP. You know, usually on the T side of Inferno, there's not enough room, so sometimes we'll just see them rifling. But Leggy always wants the AWP, and why wouldn't he when you're as quick as he is with the gun?
Just check the stack towards the top of B though. I'm sure the T's are going to see all of those nades coming in now, and if this doesn't prompt a reaction onto A, I'll actually be quite surprised. God's Not Dead does pick up one in Banana, and there's 2 guys lurking in the apps, as I say that, towards A, who are probably still poking around looking for some info. If they would walk out now and see an empty bomb site, I think that's an easy round from them. Pushing into B might be a mistake here. They'll probably get Saberfox on the trade. His teammates are not peeking for anything pretty much at this point in time. Just trying to obviously cut off and get that info. But I mean, 3 stack towards A. They don't have bomb with them, but it is as open as a 24-hour spar right now.
I really like the way that Royalty are approaching this anti-eco round right now. They were just prying for information around the map, making sure that nobody was left to their own devices. There was always some sort of a buddy system operating, and they just get the info. Where are the CT players right now? Making sure that they don't end up pushing into some sort of a stack. Really like the way that they approach that anti-eco. Very clean, and they reap the rewards of it as well. They've kept all 5 players alive. Going to bode really well for their economy.
100%. I mean, if you have a look, I mean, EXE with a full buy is still sitting on 4K. He is going to be able to buy a fiber after the game. Absolutely no problem. Saberfox making it a little bit messy.
I mean, what is he? Yeah, just USP charging in there, doing some damage, and Zayn Insane, the patience pays off. I think he had been holding that angle for about a minute straight. I promise you right now, my fingers start twitching, the AD starts getting pressed, the W key comes into effect, and then I die because the guy comes around the corner the second I move. But Zayn Insane, he's got the patience and he's got the frag.
I like that he's also well. I kind of wanted him to take that AK and retreat back to his teammate with the AWP just to double confirm it. But it's good enough that he's got the gun out of the round. An AK on CT is always nice. That one shot headshot potential on the push is always a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
To counter the CT or the counter the T in this instance at least. So like they've got a full buy. They are a little bit lighter on the util end of things. They did make it a little bit messier for royalty. So really only EXE and Leggy with the big cash on them, or the full buy kind of cash on them. So I think if they can take this round, they'll almost zero out that economic advantage that royalty had
Yeah.
built up.
Yeah, 100%. On the flip side, no money for GAC as well. So as you alluded to, big round here, economically speaking, winner of it gains a nice little foothold. Level at
I'd say it's
5-5
probably a 2 or
here.
3 round advantage, eh? Because if you look, well, there is loss bonus coming through for GAC, which is
Yeah,
going to help
that's...
them somewhat. But it's, you know, on
Oh,
CT
the
side
molly
with the
here. Is
rifle,
it flashing out Zane? No, it's not. They have free range, but the flash comes through, blinds them up. The trade is there. It's Royalty who go one better as Leggy takes down Plasm with that AWP. Very nice spacing there from Royalty as they took control. Everybody was on the same page, and they walk away with an advantageous situation. And it seems like they want to try and push that advantage home towards the safe bomb side. He's got the spread. He's good for 2 kills. Xe fluffing a number of shots there means that it is going to be back into the 2 versus 2, and Gamers Anonymous plan are quick on the rotate here, Reese. Look at how quickly Saber's getting into position. This might end up catching Leggy off guard, although he gets back into mini pit just in time. That molly kept him alive. Saber Fox edging closer and closer, but the crossfire has been set up. Royalty, they're in prime post-plant positions right now. Leggy double scoped in, will land the shot, and that shot rings the bell for Dazzo to disembark from the bomb site.
time to jam for sure. I think setting up for this exit is not a bad idea, considering they've pretty much been playing the pit until the end of the bomb every time on A. It's maybe a fool's errand to have hope, but you've always got to try. You never know. That one time you don't post it, someone will push. But yeah, nice all around there from Royalty on the buy to get 2 through. That means that they now 10k on EXE. He can buy and still has plenty left over in the bank.
Yeah.
But a full loss bonus on GAC's side. And honestly, personally, what I'd like them to maybe try and do now is play a little bit faster paced. I think the deco's a good idea, but maybe just hold W at Royalty suddenly, down mid, down B, or something to that effect with 2 or 3 players could net you trades. And at this point in time, that's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if they can get anything done with the Desert Eagles set up in the market right now, but Plasm gonna go on a bit of an exploratory mission. He finds something, Reese. He finds a bullet in the brain, as does Zane and Insane.
He gets
Probably
that
not what they were
762
hoping for.
dental.
Yeah.
Absolutely free.
That'll add a bit of gold to his teeth.
if not just some copper. But a lot of war with a sneaky little push through. I like that.
Yeah.
He manages to pick up 1 on the deco. They're gonna run right past him. I don't think they're too worried. He can sort of stay in the apps because they'll take the positions on either side of him. EXE is now on the hunt. He's a rabbit in a hole with 2 foxes after him.
Yeah. Can I just say how clean the HUD looks, by the way? The HUD looks awesome. Big
Thanks,
fan.
man.
Love the color scheme you guys went with as well. So very nice. As,
Poor Crimmy put in like 40 odd hours on it, so thank you very much. I'm sure he appreciates the compliment.
As just have a look at this situation. I don't think GAC are actually going to go for this, Reese. I think they just want some exit frags. They want to try and keep Royalty locked into this bomb site, and Lord of War is going to spot the head that peeks up from God's Not Dead, but he can't land the shots that were necessary to find the kill, and that is just unfortunate.
All
You guys
in
are
all,
saving this all again. I mean, can we just actually talk about how many rounds he's been able to save this all, please?
he's been
This
studying
wolf is,
James
like,
very closely.
being
Okay,
passed down from generation to generation.
it's an heirloom. He's had it. He's had it what since round 4, I think. He's been holding on to the same one. Well, he's died 5 times, so at least round 5. So it's at least from round 5.
Back into a big round here, though, Reese. The full gun round once again. Royalty have now won 5 consecutive rounds, and they certainly have found their footing. They've got their momentum, and the question is, can GAC get themselves back into this? or are we going to be seeing Royalty run away with it?
I think this is it's becoming do or die time. They've got the full loss bonus. They've got the next buy out. I think honestly, considering how everything is going, nice pick off there from Dazo, but they need to almost. I want to see them do the old style where you sort of get very aggressive at the start and then pull back into the sites as more or less as they've done. Banana control, not having it can be detrimental to your overall information on the map, but I think having boots on the ground at this point in time is just so important for them against Royalty. Every time that Royalty gets a player advantage, they just push mercilessly.
Yeah. They're going to be pushing towards that A bomb site now, but fortunately for Royalty, they were at least able to force Gak back into the B bomb site, which means Gak don't have the information. There's no one Banana right now, so they've had to commit 2 players towards the B bomb site, and now Royalty are going to be executing in towards A Lord of War. He just gets met by 3 players barreling out of the apartments, and now Gak are going to be into a retake situation again. They've lost 4 consecutive rounds where Royalty have planted the bomb, so their retakes have not been on point, but Zayn Insane is going to be kicking this one off with a good start as he takes down Leggy. Now they can focus all their attention towards the say bomb site. Crossfires are plenty for Royalty. How do Gak find their way into this bomb site? Maybe Klasm is the answer. He's going to be coming through the apartments. He starts raining the util in as well, and now everybody starts converging. But not dead gets forced out, but he takes the player down before he gets in the grave. Exy finds a kill as well, and this is where it starts to get awkward for Gamers Anonymous land, as Exy's just going to spray Dazo down through the smoke, and Royalty secures the round.
Domination.
You have really good patience to just stand in that molly just that little bit longer, so he doesn't have to peek into the waiting CT, and then does when he's turned away. I looked over at the util and I thought Klasm, as you noted, may have had the entry back into it. He does the nice flash off the top. There is some push through from the util, but they just didn't hold the angle just long enough, and I think maybe a bit of timing struck there, but Royalty taking that pressure and reacting in the way they did. EXE going huge, just decimating the bomb site. Like, really good play from them.
Yeah. Now we're seeing Gak just buying straight back into it because they've got that maximum round loss bonus. And it's not like when they've had the full buys, it's really made much of a difference. So they're saying we just need to try and do something to get back to winning ways here. It's been a 6 consecutive round win spree for Royalty.
Maybe they've just got their number. They're feeling the pace. Yeah, maybe they've just understood the pace of Gak at this point. You know, the 5 rounds may have just been a sort of a learning time. And if they go 10-5 out of the half and get the pistol round on CT, Gak is in a lot of trouble on this
The one
map.
thing I will say is I've really appreciated the way that Royalty have approached this T side. It's actually been pretty standard and pretty basic, but they've just done all the necessities really well, and they've stuck to their basics, but they've had the composure and the structure necessary, which has just let them be successful, or what's led to them being successful on this T side. Keeping things simple, but still paying attention to the detail, and I really like this team-based approach they've got. They're going to catch Klasm in transition, but he gets support from Zayn Insane, who does take down 1. Dazo with the AWP also able to kill that bomb side, I believe. Regardless, Royalty, they're going to be trudging onto A, and they've been able to secure the site once again, Reese. They've been having so much success over at this A bomb site, and it seems like it's going to be more of the same. What do Gak do? Do they retake? They've thrown their 1 lone flash, and there's no kits either. A fresh smoke surely going to be enough to convincing them to save these weapons.
Yeah, it's definitely save. Maybe try and get some damage into the pit position where you know that guys are going to be saving. It looks like they're going to just go for it though. Hold W is the call. EXE picks up the first one in lane. He gets shut down. Now they're going to deal with the man on site. He isn't going to get it in time. Saber Fox getting taken out, which leaves Dazo with his heirloom AWP still in the arch position. And the last 2 players are pretty comfortably going to survive. Maybe God's Not Dead gets taken out by the bomb man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, another good round from Royalty. Leggy now with 12k.
Yeah. Money not much of a factor anymore for Royalty as we head into the final round of this first half. Gak are going to have to force buy up, try and get something done. Dazo, he's 14 for 6. It's been unfortunate because he's been playing the B bomb side this entire half, and Royalty have just been continuing to find success over at A. And I would kind of like to have seen him be a little bit more diverse in his positioning and changing it up, not just being committed to Banana the entire time. rather, you know,
Definitely.
trying to take the responsibility on his own shoulders and shifting across to A. We're going to be
Uh,
seeing some aggression in apartments right now. Let's see if Zayn Insane's going to be catching them off on the angle. Leggy comes across and he's going to find one, and Zayn Insane wants to forcibly drop the molly, which ends up leading us to demise. Exy also finds one, and Plasm, he's not long for this world either.
Yeah, no, nice execute once again from Royalty. Just really polished mechanics from them. You can feel that aim that you were talking about. They sort of just round corners and smash whoever's in front of them.
Yeah.
And poor Dazo now, he gets one tap to finish the half. As we were talking about aim, God's Not Dead getting a 75% headshot ratio with a nice little one tap there at the end. Just doing a little flex on them. I like that Royalty is sort of balanced in their performance, that they don't have sort of one guy, you know, expected to sort of carry them through the T side. That's really good to see. And if you look at the ADR as well, most of them are between the lowest of 48, but if you take the top four, it's between 66 and 86. So there's not
Everybody's chipping in.
Yeah, dude, and it helps a lot of effective flashes as well, which is really good, and especially on your support player, who I'm assuming is Donkey in this instance. 12 effective flashes for the half. Like,
Actually,
really
I
good
believe he
job.
does most of the entrying, so that's a surprising one. Anyway, let's get into this pistol round because Gakko getting aggressive towards top middle, but the crossfire is in effect. Donkey doesn't need the second part to the crossfire because he just lands 2 clean shots. And this pistol round might be over before it even began for Gak. With their tail between their legs, they make their way back towards the B bomb side. There could actually be an opportunity here for them as Zayn Insane, loud and proud, charges onto this B bomb side, forcing Exy back. Support is coming away of Doobie, and he just requires one bullet to take down Dazo, a second to remove Lord of War, maybe landing the third as well. No, Exy will rob him of that opportunity regardless. Royalty don't even drop a single player in the pistol. How clean were those shots?
No, that was super crisp, super clean. They came out of mid, found the barrels of some guns pretty much in their teeth, and just 8 USP, 45 does the job. Once again, having that one tap potential at basically almost any range. They did nerf it much to my heart's lament. The USP. I think it was a good nerf though when you're hitting the whole of long on Dust 2 one-shot headshot. Maybe a bit much, but yeah, I think really good play from them. They shut down the push, like you say, before it even started. Even with the Glocks being at their nominal headshot range, like just too crisp and clean from Royalty. And I think what we've surmised earlier with them sort of feeling out the first 5 rounds is now coming to fruition, that they've just got Gak's number and they can feel where they are almost on the map. It's like they've almost got a sixth sense for where they're going to go and how they're going to play at this point in time.
Yeah, credits to God's Not Dead, the IGL for Royalty, making the reads. Force fire from Gak to try and get themselves back on track here on Inferno, but it just seems like it's more of the same right now. Both Klasm and Dazo were taken down in isolated incidents. Yeah, Klasm, he kind of got caught off guard, but Saberfox, he's going to open up the account here for Royalty with the quick double kill. Back-to-back frags with that MAC-10 has opened things up. And what do Gak do with this? Are they going to be going A or are they going to be going B? I think Zayn Insane has just answered the question. A fantastic headshot takes down Donkey, and Doobie's the first responder, and he catches Lord of War, who's trying to get into apartments. That was a massive frag, because now they can just focus their attention on this bomb site, not have to worry about any remaining T players in the apartments. Another molly though is going to be forcing Royalty to wait even longer, and they don't have any kits, Reese, so this is going to be tough. This is going to be challenging for Royalty to get into the bomb site. Zayn Insane forcing the issue as well as he gets aggressive. Transfer means he does some damage to Exy after he finds the kill on Doobie, and look at how Saberfox is approaching this right now, not giving away anything, just patiently sitting behind the box and waiting, and he finds the timing as he takes down Exy as well. Somehow Gamers Anonymous clan end up turning that 5v3 around.
Massive 3K coming out from Saberfox to open up that bomb site with the MAC-10 against a rifle. I like the little play they had in mid there, where they sort of caught the Royalty player off guard. I actually can't remember who it was, right at the top of mid. He basically didn't even feature in that fight. Then Saberfox just turning it into 2. Zayn Insane hitting a nutty dig shot, which didn't hurt proceedings at all. Definitely helped. Saberfox taking a little bit of damage here on the round start. Royalty, they loving this deco, and I'm behind it. I think in most instances in CS it doesn't really work. It's its success rate is a bit low, but if you're confident about your aim and abilities and stuff, then it can definitely turn into something, as we just saw the round before.
Yeah, the CT side of Inferno definitely does lend itself to some successful force buys. I would have preferred to see Royalty putting a bit more emphasis on the util in this round and not just going for deagles and armor. I think it's really important to make sure you have as many smokes as you possibly can in your force buy rounds on the CT side of Inferno, but they want to just go for that straight up sheer firepower, and maybe that's why Donkey also wants to go into that Galil. Might cost him his life. No, he's going to be getting back just in time, but surely there's no way that Gak dropped the ball from this position. 4 players grouped up here and to make their way towards the bomb side. Doobie lands a nice first shot. Very low health here on 2 of the players pushing forward. Donkey's going to be taking down 1 with the Galil as well, and somehow this has turned into a 1 versus 2 favoring Royalty. Dazo, he just wants to plant the bomb, and he will be able to do that at the bare minimum. Donkey wants to wait for God's Not Dead to rotate into the bomb sites as well, so he just needs to play the patient game. God's Not Dead trying to get himself into the equation as well. Dazo does not know where any of these players are going to be coming from. Donkey, so low will get taken down, but God's Not Dead trades it out immediately with the fantastic headshot, Desert Eagle in hand, and somehow Gak lose that amazing situation they found themselves in.
And it all started with that Donkey one D in apps. It actually made me make a very strange noise. It was so crisp. It was so crisp. It was such a good shot. And he was on 16 HP, running up, doing that, getting the gun back as well, all on 16 HP. And he still turns it into a second. He manages to hold them off so that they're pressured on the bomb side, so that the T can't really move off of there. Like, it was really, really well executed. Royalty is looking polished.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Good to see them performing at this level. Like I said, they are now recognized as one of the best teams in South Africa, like a top 6 team at the bare minimum. Now they need to continue to perform at that standard, at that level, with the expectation and that pressure on their shoulders. They need to continue to rise and develop. This team has not reached their ceiling, I will say that much. This team has got a high potential and skill ceiling in South Africa. I would even go as far as to say that this team can contest top 3 once they've reached their potential, their full potential.
Okay.
I have very high hopes for this team, so we'll see how it progresses over the next few months.
Well, it's cool because we get to sort of go along with a part of that journey, right, throughout the protracted.
Yeah, exactly.
As well, which is quite nice. Yeah, look, their teamwork, their understanding of advantage, and all of that sort of stuff is definitely showing a high tier intellect for the game. It's not just a raw run and gun sort of setup that they're winning with here. It's smart rotations, good support, good util usage. Taking a man who's on 17 HP, committing him towards a kill or info, and him getting both and a weapon out of that is like, it's gold. It's almost like highway robbery what we're witnessing here in a lot of senses.
Absolutely. Well, how's this going to be playing out? Do Gak have what it takes to get back into this? I mean, I don't think
that is the question.
I don't think the eco round is going to be where they're getting it done. Though they're charging up middle. God's Not Dead welcomes them with open arms. He mows down 3. They're using his time with 2 of his own, and the ego frags are aplenty.
Yeah, that was a really nice little 3-man spray down from God's Not Dead on posting himself on the top mid off angle. What I think was pertinent, especially if you know that it's going to be a save. There's a good chance of there being a rush, so right place, right time from him.
Yeah.
And so that is really the question. Those first 5 rounds or first, say, 8 rounds of play, Gak was looking very competitive. Do you think that there's anything they could have done differently, perhaps, to stay in this and remain competitive?
I think that they didn't adjust enough on their CT side when Royalty started winning it out with their basic structured T approach. I can talk about it a bit more. I'm just thinking the action might start spiraling in here. But I think that Gak didn't adjust their setups in time. Royalty were constantly going towards the A-bomb side. We didn't see Gak taking deep banana and then rotating the 4th player across. We didn't see Dazo changing up his position much at all, or enough, definitely not enough throughout the half to try and have that impact over at A. So I think they didn't have that ability to adjust once Royalty started to find their footing.
I 100% agree with that. I wished he would have gone with that. You know, it's a strong AWP. He's hitting shots. He's keeping it alive in the game. But here come the T's. They're going to go for a push, are they? No, it's a refake onto Banana. And Dube is playing quite close to this wall area. They don't have a AWP to spam it, to clear it. There's a flash coming out. A nice flash for his teammate. Picks himself up 1 kill. I will say that does give some advantage to the T's because the CTs are spread a little bit thinner.
Sure.
But yeah, getting back to what you're saying, I have to agree. I wish Dazo had gone to play the top right of A towards the arch area. He could have shut down pushes from lane, from apps, or from the mid section through arch lane itself as well. I think it would have turned out a little bit better for them. But here comes the shove now. Leggy is going to be there to answer. He picks up the first kill. There's a man towards pit. It is Donkey who's going to flash over the top. He's not going to see the main pushing close. He gets hit by the flash himself. Lord of War is there, but he gets absolutely destroyed. Chasm does manage to pick up one from the flank position. They start to do the pinch now, which is going to give Donkey another kill into the round. And now it's Dazo sitting in the corner, panicking. And that flash is too good.
Yeah, perfect. Really you can see the communication was on point. God's Not Dead knew exactly when it was coming through, and he just times his peak with to perfection. 14-6. Royalty Esports are on make that 15-6 rather. Scoreboard hadn't ticked over yet. Royalty Esports are on an absolute tear here on Inferno. Reese, lest we forget, the score was 5-2 at one stage in favor of GAC. Okay, they have only won one of the past 60, or rather the past 14 rounds. That is not acceptable.
That's pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie. It's quite harsh, and I think the thing that Royalty did.
Oh no! And look at this. Oh my God! Sorry to interrupt you. They just push straight down middle, full disrespect, and they're flexing now. They're just straight up flexing.
No, 100%. It's quite a harsh position for the GAC boys to find themselves in on match point. You get pushed down mid, 2 guys go down. It's definitely, you could almost feel some sort of pressure cracks from some of the GAC players, maybe. They're sort of overextending and overreaching. Nice little trade there. It actually comes back to a 2-on-2. So even after that really potent start there from Royalty, GAC just kind of pull it back. Now there's one man on each bomb site, so it's going to be a 2-on-1 to start. EXE does have some good util to help set himself up. He gets the headshot through the smoke, which does mean now it is a 1-on-1. Lord of War is, his position is known. He does have bomb, but nothing else really to work with.
Yeah, tough situation he finds himself in right now. No utility. He has got a bit of time at his disposal here, and that's why he's just waiting it out to see if he can catch anybody up. But Exy plays the patient game, and he ends up coming out on top. And that is the first map done and dusted. Royalty, as soon as they found their footing, they just shifted into cruise mode, and they played a very basic game on the T side. We saw that GAC didn't have the ability to adjust, and it ended up being a fairly one-sided affair. So that's the first map done and dusted. Reese, I just want to say a shout out to Barbarian. I see in chat you say you look forward to learning more about SA teams and their skills in the next few months. That's awesome, man. I love it when we see new and up-and-coming viewers supporting the scene. We're going to be on every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 over the next 7 weeks. So you've got plenty of Counter-Strike coming your way, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for supporting the stream and coming and giving us kind words of encouragement. It's much appreciated.
So I believe we're going to be taking a short break now, Reese, as we diverge into the second map in a couple minutes' time, or are we just continuing on air until then?
No, I think we'll take a 2-minute or 5-minute break, and then we'll come back. Yeah, I'm sure we do. And then we've got Dust 2, which is then the second map, which was picked by GAC, actually. Yeah. And yeah, as you've said, Royalty's even stronger on Dust 2 than they were on Inferno.
Well, they believe they are. I personally, I've got more stock in the Inferno than I do their Dust, but I know that I've heard down the grapevine that they've got a lot of faith in their Dust 2. Guys, this is the Evesports EGL 1 2020 main event. It is a 50,000 Rand prize pool, and there are 16 teams that are taking part in this event. They are split across the double bracket. 4 teams were directly invited. 8 teams earned their spot through a qualifier. 4 other teams made it through the wild card. We're going to be taking a short break now, and I hope we're going to be seeing you guys in about 5 minutes. We'll be back with Dust 2. It is GAC's map pick, so we're hoping we're going to be seeing a bit more from them when we return.
So I'm feeling the extent of your research, Matt. I
No
feel
way.
it. I
No way.
feel it, bro.
That's
It's
what I
almost
bring,
like
bro.
you've watched CS before.
Okay, I'm gonna get counted in, bro.
Lekker. Dis gooi.
Yeah.
I believe we're live, Matt. If I'm not mistaken.
All right, hello
I think we've been
everybody,
hot
and
marked.
welcome to the Evesports EGL 1 2020 main event. I need to unmute my Discord because I keep on missing my cue that we are live. So apologies about that, everybody, and welcome back. We are here with the second map between Royalty and Gamers Anonymous Clan, and we're going to be jumping into this map any moment now. We just came off the back of a fairly one-sided performance where Royalty steamrolled GAC on Inferno 16-6 after they were down 2-5. So they certainly then turned on the burners and looked a lot better. Coming into Dust 2, it is indeed GAC's map pick, but I'm not sure that's going to be changing their fate. Reese, what do you think?
I, after seeing the mechanical polish of the royalty gentlemen, have been converted to your way of thinking. So
Yeah,
I think GAC has a big mountain to climb. They qualified in 10th position, which isn't massively far back, but I think it shows in a way that almost that disparity between the midpoints of SACS right now, royalty being one of the upper um, qualifiers compared to them, and maybe not so much that disparity as much as royalty's quality.
Yeah, sorry about that, Reese. Just sorting out some things in the background there as we wait for them to kick things off here on Dust 2. So yeah, guys, for everybody who's not familiar with this event, this is the Evesports EGL 1 2020 main event hosted by Evesports and sponsored by Intel, and it's a 50,000 rand prize pool with 16 teams that are going to be competing throughout the double elimination bracket. We're going to have matches every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 in the evening, and it's going to be pretty much 7 weeks worth of games over the next 7 weeks. The bracket's going to be playing out. It's going to be high octane, entertaining games every single night. So make sure you clear out your calendar because we got some fantastic CS coming up over the next few weeks.
Oh, 100%. And if you look at the way that we've actually done the bracket, we should effectively only really have, the top teams meeting towards the final stages of the tournament.
Yeah.
Which does leave a little bit of interesting vibes, which I think will come through the midsection of the lower bracket. Will be a lot of areas for potential upsets where you
Yeah.
have a GAC versus say a more middle of the road team like a Critical Five or something to that effect, and
Yes.
then you get that upset potential if they play the way they played those 5 rounds in a row against a more middle of the road sort of team. It's going to be much harder for them to sort of get on the wavelength and step up to that comm and that teamwork that we were seeing coming out in the early stages of the last map from GAC. So I think
Yes.
it's definitely that's why I just want to when we do these things, I just kind of like to mix it up because of
Yeah.
that. And I think 2019 VS Gaming Finals, we produced that as well, and at that point in time there was that pulling through from first div, the top 2 teams and that sort of stuff coming through for that championship with some of the bigger teams. And we saw that actually the guys from Good Gaming pulled through a couple of upsets. So I'm just hoping for more of that, to be honest, in this
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Always ups the ante when you get a juicy upset or two. Certainly would be an upset if GAC can get the win here on Dust 2. They did pick the map, so there must be a reason for that, Reese. Obviously, a strength of theirs coming into this affair. I wonder how much research and homework they did into Royalty's strengths, or whether they knew that Dust 2 was one of their best maps, or and they still decided to pick it, or they just weren't aware of it altogether. Because it's quite interesting. If they did know that Dust was such a strength of royalty, and they still decided to pick the map, I think that speaks volumes as to how confident they are in themselves on this map. Or if they just didn't do the research altogether, they might be in surprise for a bit of a shock here. So we'll be finding out a couple rounds into the map how things proceed. But
I just want
I
to
do
point
think
out
royalty will get across the line.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I just want to
No
point out,
worries.
I think Gak has put their secret weapon on there. He's been taken out now, but Bot Chet was there to maybe be a secondary or a sixth player coming through. But the knife round
Bot
is
Chet.
now live. They are going to go into the long position as a default to knife for sides. And
Yep.
Loyalty takes the lead early, but now it's a 2-on-1.
Reese, I'm gonna save you. You're making the cardinal sin. We don't cast knife rounds. Okay?
Don't we cast knife rounds?
We don't cast knife rounds. No one in CS ever has cast a knife round.
I'm gonna cast a knife round. I'm gonna break them all.
No one casts. No one likes casting knife rounds. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Don't get me wrong. 10 out of 10 for enthusiasm.
That's
But
what I'm here
I'll
for, man.
save you. So he even won the knife round. You see, maybe I should start casting them so I pay attention to who
Yeah,
actually
you
wins
see,
the knife
exactly,
round.
exactly.
I can say it was Gak because they had the choice of sides. So it's their map pick. They have the choice of sides. They've got everything they need to be successful here on Dust 2. They are going to choose to start on the T side. Fairly untraditional. Normally in South Africa, we see teams starting on the CT side. Gak want to dictate the pace, and I like this decision as well. Coming off the back of a 16-6, you don't want to have to sit back and defend. You want to try and get back into the game and find your groove. What do they have in store for us?
100%. Dazzle hasn't bought anything this round, which is interesting. I would have thought maybe a smoke and a flash,
Yeah,
double flash coming out from
for
Dube.
sure.
It probably is, right?
Yeah,
that's
that
my
has
gut
to be a
feeling.
misbuy. Nobody saves in pistol rounds, so that's definitely a misbuy and an unfortunate one as well. So no util on the table for Gak. There are 2 flashes and a smoke on the table for royalty, and they're just sitting and waiting right now. They've got information. Donkey's up close at doors. Doobie's going to be taking the bait for him as he's a bit further back, and then they've got the hold towards long as well. So you can see right now, royalty, they just spread across the map. They've got control as well, and they're not going to be giving anything away right now. Gak are forced to make the next move as they start making their way up short, and this is where Donkey can be in position. He's got all the info coming through. Oh, Saber's dancing with death, and he's going to receive the final kiss as he gets taken down by Donkey's USP bullets, and he's going to have to do a bit more here. Is the royalty player as he's continued to hang around the doors. He's been spotted out by Lord of War. This is maybe where Zane Insane can try and peek out and catch Donkey off guard. He might look to overwhelm them all together. Zane Insane does find the first, but Doobie is then able to trade, and it's a smart decision for him. After he finds that pick, he immediately backs off towards the bomb site, maintaining that advantage for his team.
Yeah, and I like this just sort of hold setting up from here. God's Not Dead is now going to take the peek. He gets dinked as he's on the way out. But there is a man, Long Leggy, who's going to be able to get some long-range shots in with the USP, keeping the range on the Glocks, which I think is really smart from him as well, to make sure they don't get inside that nominal headshot, one-shot range, as it were. EXE has got a pinch coming in from short. If he gets taken out here, but he won't, he will get the first trade. Then he's going to take on the Plasm, and does take a bit of a battle with him, but manages to come short. And there was a kit they didn't see, and Dube has the defuse and Leggy the last kill.
Can I just ask, to go completely off topic, how on earth does Leggy have a 10-year coin? I'm not joking when I say I think he might be the youngest player on the server right now. Like, I think he's only 18 years old or something. I'm not joking. Maybe, can someone confirm, is he older? Is he like 21 already? Nick, if you're watching, I know you'll know. Somebody let us know, because I've just always thought Leggy's like really young. Like, he might already be like 20 or something though. But that's still like a 10-year coin on a 20-year-old is saying something, man.
I remember him from CSGO days still. I've had him on my friends list, I think 8 years of that 10. So he's been around.
You guys go way back, bro.
I go way back with most people by virtue of being old. Thanks, Matt.
Oh, jeez, but I just throw you under the bus like that. I'm sorry.
If my grey hairs didn't, that statement surely did.
Well, back into the round we go here. Gak have opted to force buy after losing the pistol. They've got 2 scouts, a Galil, a P90, and a Tech 9. Very interesting mix of weaponry to try and get across the line, and Lord of War's gotten it off to a good start as he takes down Doobie. Not only that, but God's Not Dead's also been tagged down here. So this round is certainly looking doable here for Gak.
I like the double scout setup. I don't know why. It's sort of tickling me pink in certain ways. It's like if they both peak, it's effectively an AWP kind of thing, maybe? I don't know. I don't think that's going to be how they
I
try and
mean,
use it.
you land a headshot, it's like an AWP, I'll give you that much.
Well, two
Still has the
times
same
70 is
effect.
still 140, but I mean, on the quick maths, you know. But
Alright.
a nice staggered setup here from Royalty. Leggy's going to be the first one to take contact towards A. There are 3 pushed up on that spot right now. I think it's going to come down to this long duel. If Saberfox gets killed on Donkey, which he does now, there's a lot of trouble, but it's not even
Wow.
going to matter. Dazo picks up Leggy, and they are going to take the A site for free. This looks
Yeah.
like a done and dusted round for them, except, well, maybe when you get absolutely smashed by EXE from B to CT.
Yeah, I don't think that that's going to be changing their decision too much here. Still going to be just saving these weapons, and XE at least inflicting a bit of economic damage here to Gak. But a nice force fire coming through from Gak, and I like the way that they approach that. Often we see teams when they force buy on the T side, they have a tendency to just want to be super aggressive and rush a bomb site or rush up short. And they actually just opted for the passive game. They had a number of players watching through middle doors, waiting for any of the CTs to push forward. And as soon as, I can't remember who exactly it was, I think it was Doobie, as soon as he reared his head, he got taken down, and then towards long, they won a good fight as well. And the round unraveled from there for Royalty, but well worked by Gamers Anonymous Clan. Nice patience from them. And they pick up the first round here, or their first round on Dust 2.
Yeah, they also seem to have quite interesting setups, you know, with the knowing that the CT is still in long, having Saberfox push that with the best gun that they have to almost ensure that duel in a lot of ways, so that they know they have long control, because it's cost them actually in the last push. So a nice little adjustment there from them.
Absolutely. And you're going to see in response the force by coming back from Royalty. God's Not Dead with the scouts is going to be starting things off very nicely with that shot. And Doobie wants to activate as well, but unfortunately he can't emulate God's Not Dead's heroics. He goes down. Damage has been done to Dazo, however, but Zane instead can take down God's Not Dead. Big frag there for him, because now Gamers Anonymous Clan can start trudging their way through long towards the safe site. And Leggy,
be careful of
that
Leggy
nade's going to
there.
be too deep. Yeah, he might be able to get something done here. It's all about Donkey. He's going to try and bait for Leggy. And Spike just wants to have a bit of presence, but Leggy, he stands up fully blind, loses his head, and that should be the end of the round.
Really nice team flash coming in there. Doesn't hit the allies at all. EXE now getting taken really low. He's going to run right here into the scope. He's going to definitely get taken down. Easy cleanup there for Gak. 3 players making it through the rounds, dropping their throwaway rifles and guns, and managing to pull an M4 through that round as well. Means that Klasm will now have a buy. They can actually, you know, get some economic advantage going here. Like, this is looking a lot like the start of the last game. So not a little bit hopeful for them. They're going to push straight through doors on the CTs. They're going to run straight up and get certain suicide.
No.
Oh my word, it has not gone to plan.
Well, not like this, boys. What are we watching right now? Saberfox is in such an important position to try and shut down this aggression, and he will take down God's Not Dead. He shouldn't be hanging around, though. He shouldn't be hanging around. He continues to push forward, and he goes down as well. This round has completely unraveled and swung into Royalty's favor. Gamers Anonymous Clan licking their wounds, trying to find a way back into this one, and it seems like it's going to be towards that B bomb site, where currently there are no CT players. But look at how low Zane Insane is. He only has 8 points of health. He was part of that crew who ran down Suicide. It's called Suicide for a reason, Reese.
Yeah, it's very true, and it's sort of weird that the scout wasn't sitting at range, right? Like in that sort of setup. I think this is a tall order here for Lord of Wars.
Oh no!
Doobie too sharp, too good.
5 USPs, and they win the way they win the round with 3 people still alive.
But I think it was a combination of good play from. You know, there's this term in sports, it's like, we didn't lose, we got beaten. They lost that round, did Gak, because of how they did their setup. Having the scout playing from Suicide just doesn't make too much sense, especially if you know that they're on an eco.
I just don't think they'd all expected Royalty to just charge up middle like that. They were like, cool, we're just going to take it nice and chill, just get aggressive in mid early on. It's like, whoa, what's going on? Army ants just surging through the mid doors. Who left the rice cake out?
I like that for multiple reasons.
Another full gun round here, and it's going to be God's Not Dead on the angle with the AWP. He does get baited out though, so Gamers Anonymous clan, they clear off the angle without losing anybody. They've been able to buy back into this one, so it's a full gun round for both of these teams right now, Reese. And whoever wins this is going to be gaining quite an important economic foothold in this map.
For sure. I think GAC does have that one last round bonus that they're still holding on to, which will give them some slight edge. But having those USPs do that much damage, you still got 3 players on 3K. It's like, it's a much better standpoint for them.
Absolutely. Seeing some aggression towards long right now. The late long take from GAC yields them 1 kill, but 2 have been traded out in response from Royalty. That's trying to activate towards Short. He will catch off God's Not Dead. Might be able to get Leggy as well. No, Leggy able to get out of dodge just in time. Now he's tasked with trying to lock down the cross, but Saber Fox, with no fear in the world, just surges across, throws the bomb to his team as well, and ensures that the plant does come through. It's going to be a 3 versus 3 retake here for Royalty. Doobie takes down Saber on the bomb side, slightly overzealous from him. Doobie going to continue moving forward, and nice clean one tap onto Clasm, but Dazzo finds 2 of his own. It's not going to be enough though. Xe times his peak to perfection and salvages the round for his team.
And even though they've lost that amount of weapons and stuff, they're perfectly fine. They've got an AWP carrying through. There's one player that might be short util or a full Y, 3,700. With a drop, they actually should be perfectly fine. But looking over on the T side, they only have 1 guy with 5K. So they potentially have a buy. I think it would be better if they equalize some of the economy, which is what they're actually going to opt to do, which I think is a better play from them. And then the next round with the loss bonus and a 2K buffer, they will be then, hey, if they win, even better, power to them. But they are going to push through long. Going through the molly is not the way to do it. Donkey is going to be able to pick up the first kill. 2 of them are going to be pinned down indoors. They do get some damage through onto the AWP in the form of Dube in the mid position. He's going to be pushed right back into B, and they're going to rely on the A players. They're giving up a lot of mid control, which is quite interesting. I think if they could see what we would see, they might go for a smoke, but God's Not Dead is going to challenge her. He's just going to slow things down with a molly, and there's going to be a smoke in long to make sure that push becomes very difficult. Nice flash into mid here from EXE. Is he going to be able to pick up the kill? No, some KZ skills coming out from Zane Insane. Manages to put himself back into the tunnels. A little creep, and Lord of War gets a nice shot. Very nice indeed. One goes down on the other side in B though to Dube, so it is back to a 3-on-4 favoring the CTs. Now a 2-on-4, big favor to the CTs. There is an open A side, so perhaps they can get a plant here for short, which is what they're going to opt to do.
I'm just going to just say nice shot, because these guys just continue to land a couple decent frags here across the map, Reese. And it's just Lord of War left in a 1 versus 4 dire situation he finds himself in, and he's certainly not long for this world for much longer, as he does go down 4-2 here. The save is successful, I guess, for GAC. The fact that they find 1 kill and a bomb plant. And look at how low, at least 3 of the 4 players are below 50 health. So maybe a bit of potential there for GAC to somehow convert that. But alas, they find a bomb plant, which is a success in itself. Now they're going to be picking up the weapons, and they need to start getting into this one here, Reese. They can't allow Royalty to get so far ahead, as was the case on Inferno. They found how tough it was to play from behind. They don't want to be getting in that position once again. And it seems like neutrals are playing from both of the teams. It's Donkey who gets his vision back first, as he's going to be finding the double spray down, taking down both Clasm and Zane Insane. It is all Royalty right now.
Oh, and Dube narrowly misses another shot. They do get up onto short. He's going to miss that one. Azul doesn't get the leg. Nice shot onto Dazzo, though. Means that is he going to re-peak here? Lord of War and him are going at it. Missing 3 shots in a row. Both players. Wow. You don't see that every day. Saber Fox comes in. He takes a legging for his time. But they are going to pull it back into a very flimsy 2v4. Only a smoke and some, a molly left over for them. I think it's time to jam.
I'm not sure they're feeling it just yet, Reese. Both of them on short. I don't even think jamming is an option right now. You see God's Not Dead lurking up behind them. Is going to find the timing as well. Lord of War has to land the shot, and he's actually able to connect on it. That opens up a few more options here for GAC, but it seems like they want to commit to the A bomb site. Saber Fox charges forward, and he ends up being taken down, and that should be the end of the round. I don't think that Lord of War is going to be able to engineer anything from this position. 1 versus 3 with the AWP in hand, and nothing being given away right now by Royalty. He has no right to win this round, and a nice off angle there from Leggy means he gets taken down, and that's 5-2 now. Royalty pick up their 4th consecutive round.
Yeah, and once again, just such a good split of damage and kills and activity from the Royalty team. All of them are playing, you know, they're taking that info kind of role when they need to. They're very flexible, which is helping them a lot.
The double orb setup is also yielding a lot of success here for Royalty. Doobie and Leggy this time the two players to pick up the weapons. We've seen God's Not Dead wielding it as well. And Doobie going to be landing a nice shot there. 2nd for him as well. He's going to find the 3rd on the repeat. Yes, these are ego frags, but they're just as impressive. And he finds Lord of Water as well. And it's just too easy for Doobie as he picks up a cool, calm, and collected quad kill with the orb. That's 6-2.
Yeah. As I was saying about those scores.
Yeah.
Dube just surging ahead there to an 11 for 4. Like you say, maybe ego frags, but it's still money in the bank at the end of the day.
Yes.
So 7K now on 2 of their players means that they can actually play a lot more risky. I think that helps a lot in you know, retake scenarios and that sort of stuff. You can take those 2v3s and you're like, we can buy it for the next 2 rounds. There's absolutely no problem.
Exactly that, Mr. Reese. How do GAK engineer a way back into this game? They've lost 5 consecutive rounds. They have been successfully taking short control, I'll say that much. Their util usage has been on point, their teamwork has been decent. The problem where they've been dropping the ball is in this next phase, this next stage, where they need to get onto the bomb site. This time they find the opening kill, and they've been able to force Leggy back as well. This is looking a lot better for Gamers Anonymous Clan right now, as they take control of the A bomb site. They've got a 2-man advantage as well now, courtesy of Lord of War, but unfortunately that wooden pole won't be providing the cover he required, and the bomb is all the way back outside of long doors. So even though GAK are on the bomb site, they can't plant the bomb just yet, which is just buying a bit more extra time here for Royalty. Reese, you can see them pushing forward towards short. They're going to be in forward positions once the bomb gets planted. Retake on the cards here, and Leggy, he leaves the angle, so he gets he can't land the shot, and then Dazo comes back for more. He finds the kill, so now the bomb plant's going to come through.
A bit of a missed molly there from Dube. It does land up high, so it's not going to stop the safe plant on the site. I think they could have planted for pit there. It would have been nice. They've already got Klasm in position for that, so maybe it could have been a bit better of a plant. But I think in the TV for Royalty, he's going to pull a Jane here, perhaps. Dube does pick himself up. Is it Dube or Doobie?
It's Doobie.
Is it Doobie? Okay. I thought maybe with the double.
Doobie.
Freshly ground in the house. We will be here for a live concert later in the week.
Oh, man.
So yeah, no, nice little trade from him. Sorry to keep cutting you off like that, but much better round than pushing the secondary AWP out of position like that. So Leggy doesn't really have, you know, his favored spot or any off angles that he can really play into. I think was the deciding moment in that round. For sure, but even so, Royalty full buys up, 2 players over 4K still on their side, and the money just a little bit thinner spread over on the T side. They are coming off quite a loss bonus, which does help perhaps going into these next rounds, but definitely still Royalty's game to lose.
Yeah, but a very nice previous round coming out of James, but they have to follow that up with another round win here. If it's just going to be one isolated round, it's going to be leaving them in dire straits, and it seems like that might be the case. Royalty again successfully defending this early long aggression, and it's only Zane Insane left, corralled in the corner. Back against the wall, he's going to be found out there by God's Not Dead, and Zane Insane continues to force the issue here, and he ends up walking into the crosshair of Leggy. Man, I don't know. I get the idea that they want to change up their approach in the round, but pretty much the only thing that's been working for GAK in this map so far on this T side is them taking short control and then working their way onto A. They've been consistently successfully finding short control, and previously they've just got the recipe to get onto the bomb side as well. And now they change it up after they've just won a round. Personally, I think they should just continue sticking to what's working for them and trying to build on that.
Couldn't agree more, dude. Like you found a formula that you've been able to push people off the angle. Leggy hits a really quick AWP shots just on the pixel of the arm, manages to pick up the first kill. They've sort of reverted to winning ways here by going back in that direction. I'd like to see even a mid push from here. You know that they're splitting A and B quite heavily, and that the CT guys is not there that often, and sometimes quite limited. He's been traditionally quite high up on A. Throw
Yes.
the CT smoke and do a mid to B, perhaps even with that. It does give you an option to go either way, but they just keep funneling themselves down this cat position into Leggy's AWP and getting their heads taken off for it.
What can Gak do in this position? You can see they've just got feelers around the map right now, holding angles across the board, hoping that some stray CT may lurk their way into the crosshair, but it's just not happening right now. I'm loving this discipline from Royalty. When you find the opening pick on the CT side, you don't need to do anything else, especially when it's so early on in the round. You can literally just sit back and post, and this is textbook stuff coming out of Royalty right now. This warms the cockles of my purest Counter-Strike heart. And let's see if they're going to be able to convert the round from this position. Information
Well, they do
starts
go
to
for
come
the
through.
mid to B.
Yeah,
So
it's actually a nice read for Gamers Anonymous right now. Saberfox can't get the job done, and that leaves his teammates high and dry, Reese. They're stuck between such an awkward position, and they're going to try and save their weapons, but I don't think they're going to be able to even do that. Oh, man, you hate to see it. Lord of War going to get out alive, but only just.
I know he has the backbone made from diamonds and granite to just run across that gap like that. It manages to stay alive and keep his AWP up, which I think is very important for Gak's hopes at this point in time. But yeah, like you say, that discipline coming through from Royalty. Just we've got the pick, we've got the angles. There's no reason to move. Let them come to us. We can play the patience game, and it pays off for them with their 8th round.
Certainly does. Just Royalty nice boost, continuing to surge here. Yeah, nice way to spot into lower dark. And it seems like Gak are going to be going for a bit of a later long take here. They've been able to get Saberfox through successfully. And it seems like they want to continue to force the issue here because he's been able to get through. They're right, all right, we've got the map control. Let's try and build on that. And they've got all 5 players in long right now. God's not dead. It's getting back, so he has to try to take the fight, and his head's going to be taken off. And that's a fantastic opening frag for Gak. Nice attention to detail there, making sure they don't get caught off by that sneaky spot behind the car. And it seems like off the back of that, they want to try and propel themselves into the A bomb site. Not much util, though. In fact, no util. There's actually smokes on the cross, excuse me.
And they leave a gap,
get
though.
across.
Yeah. Quite get the shot, but the info is definitely coming through, and the bomb is late. So once again, they seem to be sort of repetitively making that mistake, which is unfortunate for them. Dube going for a Kukli style up close, seeing if he can channel some cold zero, but Leggy is there as well. But they now, for instance, they do have the man in pit, Zayn Insane with the AWP. So this is going to be a tough push, and he is going to pick up the kill on EXE, which means that their flank is pretty much done. And now there's only 2 people left on short, and this can be a bit of a firing pit or shooting fish in a barrel, and it does turn into a bit of a comeback now, maybe from Gak. They pick up their first. Actually, they've actually splits it up. There was a 5 round in a row, and then 1 in reply, and then now 2 in reply. So maybe there are some chinks in the Royalty armor that Gak can work their ways into.
The problem is that Gak haven't been able to string any rounds together, so even when they win a round, it's just an isolated scenario. They need to string some together here so that they can break the economic backbone of Royalty, force them onto their secondary, and then go from there. But, oh man, it's so unfortunate. Dazzo wanted to try and push some more guard. He wanted to get aggressive, but he ends up just catching a bullet in the brain. Duby's been doing a fantastic job in middle with the AWP so far. He's at 14 for 5 at the moment, Reese. Just continuing to be a force to be reckoned with.
Both are all popping off. 13 for 5, 14 for 5. Both of them really doing a lot of work, but it's been expensive. The economy is a little bit in tatters, actually. They only got 2K on EXE.
Bit of banter in chat there. Oh, you love to see it. 4 versus 5. Gak have not had much success in rounds where they've lost the opening duel. And as I just said prior, they need to string some rounds together here. Winning 1 round is good, but doesn't really have much effect when you can't string a few more together and build on it. Royalty still have the momentum and the confidence behind them right now. And again, Reese, look at it. When they find the opening pick in the round, they know they do not need to do anything further. They hold the advantage and they don't want to be giving it away. And I'm just loving the CT side approach right now from Royalty.
100%, and I like that they've changed up the angles and positioning as well. So they're going to try the same thing again, Yagak, but they're going to run into God's Not Dead. Oh, what a shot from Klasm as he comes through the door, shuts him down. The flashes are good, but it's not going to phase Dube. He's going to be able to pick up the first kill. They come through the window, gets the no-scope. That is absolutely fantastic. Still man towards Card, though, and now does set up for a 2-on-2 with the hardest retake site being B on Dust 2 for me. One of the hardest ones, but they just flashed through, swarm in. It's going to be a trade. Leggy now in a one-on-one with Saberfox. Saberfox is posting the window thinking that's where he's going to push through. He reads the door, but it's Leggy who has the fastest finger first. Takes him down. Very, very, very messy round though all around. It didn't look like for a moment Gak might get that 2 in a row.
Yeah, they were in a very nice position there. As you said, Klasm with a great shot as he opened things up there in mid doors, and that allowed them to start pushing onto the B bomb site. But Doobie just continues to plague them with the AWP. He finds that first pick in tunnels, and then he's able to take down the player pushing through window, buying even more time for his team. So really good work by him.
I'm not gonna lie.
Would you be calling an emergency meeting? Oh my god, Doobie continuing to dominate Dazo. Is he gonna find another here? He's got the scouts, but it hasn't really changed the impact that he's having in this game so far. Like you said, himself and Leggy are just leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else right now. They have got 31 kills between the two of them, Reese, in 14 rounds. Those are crazy numbers.
No, they are. It's you're basically getting 2 a round on your scope setup. That's rough. That's hard to play into because you're losing manpower before you even begin, as we've just seen here. And it's and like you said, traditionally those rounds where they lose the player early, they've struggled to convert more often than not.
Yeah, that's exactly been the scenario we've seen develop on Dust 2. Leggy gonna find another one. Finally, a kill coming through for Gak. Zane Insane with the patient game does find that frag onto Exy, who was being a little bit fancy with his footwork there. Ends up costing him his life. And it seems like off the back of that, Gak are going to try and work their way up short into the A bomb side. We haven't been seeing much of the short aggression from them in a couple rounds that have passed.
I really liked Donkey's position on the side note, but as the push comes through, he gets waylaid by the AWP of Leggy once again, who just starts to knock off some heads. Can they get a plancher? It would be pretty good for them. Will he go for the jump shot? He will. He does manage to connect it, but once the bomb goes down, so he get the money. Lord then manages to get himself a trade, but to what avail? Look, it's not that the economic situation is great on Royalty. It does look a little bit slim. They are going to have a little bit less util and stuff going into the last round, but the T's won't even have an AWP for this one by the looks of things.
The problem is that even though Royalty don't have the best economic situation, Gak aren't capitalizing on it because they can't string 2 rounds together. So they can't capitalize and exploit their lack of economy on Royalty. And that's the real problem here on the C side, is that they haven't been able to break that economy on Royalty. And now they're going to try and force the issue towards long once again. And the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And that's what we're witnessing right now from Gak. Again, they just hit their head against the brick wall and they end up being knocked back once again. I don't know why they haven't been going back to short. Short is where they've found the majority of their success so far on this T side. And again, we're going to be seeing Zane Insane try and get the job done. But he just doesn't have support from his teammates. Very disjointed right now from Gak. And it seems like frustration might be starting to creep in.
Yeah, definitely. They just kind of held W on that execute towards the end. As soon as those first 2 players went down, they just, you know, I think, well, it could be an information finding exercise to understand, you know, how the rotations and stuff from Royalty are working. But they've actually been so random to the point that there's almost, from my perspective, with all the information we have, there's not really been an identifiable pattern for them to capitalize on. And well, except for the fact that you are going to run into a scope from Doobie mid and you are probably going to die.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a fairly common theme throughout this half. And it seems like Royalty want to try and finish this one as quickly as they can. But the molly towards tunnels is going to be just delaying them slightly. Dazo coming up low is able to get one as well. And he's going to be able to get out alive, which is the key piece of information, or the key point to make there is he continues to plague this T side. He gets another kill. That's 3 for him in the round. Finally, he gets taken down by Xe, who's now left in a 1 versus 3. It's going to have to be the ace clutch from him if he's going to be getting the job done here for his team. I will say, Reese, I've seen this guy do some nutty things before, man. He is a monster at this game. He's got time
Is he
on his
going
side.
to channel Snacks USP? That is the real question.
I don't know, man. I don't even know if Snacks is the player you want to be compared to in 2020.
Yeah, well, 2050.
Yeah, fair enough. There we go with that anecdote. It does certainly change the dynamic. And right now, he's opted for the Glock, so he can just rattle off a few more shots. He does realize that there's a good chance the flank is coming through. And that flank might lead to his demise, or might give him the opportunity to get onto the A bomb side. He has threaded the needle through the defense right now, Reese, and he finds himself an opportunity to secure a plant at the bare minimum. As he does realize the A bomb side's completely vacant. The info is there for Gak, but the plant's going to come through regardless.
Yeah, and that's a win in of itself when you're so far ahead, because you've gotten some of the economic standpoint into your hands. He does get cleaned up quite easily by Saber Fox on the flank. I didn't think he would. Okay, let me take a better example. He wasn't going to channel a simple moment there for us, but it does help his team out considerably. And they could even force here, because you do get that double up loss bonus on the first round as compared to normal sort of functioning rounds. You do get a double loss bonus if you lose the pistol, which is going to net them enough that they could do some run and gun shenanigans. They're going to pick up AK-47s on round 2 with a couple of Ds, and that's some confidence right there.
You find the bomb plant on the T side of Inferno, on the T side of CS, but you lose the pistol round. This has become a common trend. I love seeing teams do this, especially when they're ahead. You've got the rounds to play with. You want to keep your foot on the gas. Continue to put the pressure on Gak. This is the exact way to do it. You don't give them any rounds for free. It's going to be a late round take as well. I love this decision. Xe entries with the Desert Eagle and lands a nice clean shot. Rattles off the single bullet, takes down Lord of War, and they're not going to be slowing down there either. Xe landing another fantastic shot into Chasm. That brings an end to his run as he gets taken down, but the damage has been done. Now the AKs can start to take effect. Royalty taking a commanding grip on this A bomb site. This is going from bad to worse right now for Gak.
Yeah, and now you've got Guzman dead in the pit with a pretty decent weapon. He's going to give it up as I say that, but it's really, I think the writing is on the wall. They're going to push in here though. Guzman dead just trade zone insane. Nice little shot there from him. There's one left on short, but that is going to the writing total domination.
Yeah.
So the gamble pays off.
Works off. And let me talk about the way that they approach that round, because I actually really like it. They go for the late long take, right? And normally what happens from the CT side is they take long control at the start of the round with 3 players, and after they've secured long control, they post 1 player in pit, and the other 2 players go back towards the A bomb side. Royalty let them do their little dance, and then they take long control, isolating the 1 player. They get that frag, and then they just continue fighting into A. Fantastic round for them, and there's something similar to that. The W key is just being held in, and Xe lands the triple way too easy for him. Up against the 4-5, they make it look easy.
Domination.
Yeah, no, that was very quick, clean, and to the point. Puts them three rounds shy of map and game point. Actually, they are on the approaching that match point and it went. You know what's so interesting is it went in such a similar fashion to the last map, where they sort of they're doing the royalty right back at them.
Yeah, they're giving them a taste of it. They keep trying to emulate the result we saw earlier. Dazo lands a nice headshot. It has turned into a 2 versus 2, and they're continuing to duel. Oh my god, somehow it's resulted in a 1 versus 2. God's not dead, left by himself. And he knows that they're getting tagged up by the scout, and he's going to get taken down. Dazo! Scout shot after scout shot after scout shot after scout shot. He just continues chipping away at Royalty. He finds 3 kills in the round, and he did enough damage for his teammates to get a few picks as well. My god, Gamers Anonymous clan, you absolute animals.
What just happened? I actually just flailed my arms over my head at the end of that round because of what just happened. That was absolutely fantastic from Dazo. They're going to do it again as well. They're like, dare us to do it once, we'll do it twice. Yeah, they come up mid. Chasm is the first one to take contact. They do get the trade, which does favor the T's a little bit. They are going to now just run down. Nice, Dazo gets the shot.
With the scout, bro.
But here comes the util for the cross.
Oh.
There is a gap, so
Oh.
he does manage to see something. He doesn't take the shot. They're going to leave one towards long, which is the smart play. Leggy is going to be able to take up that pit position. But can they get the plant in a good spot?
Oh,
No,
good
they
night.
can't. Donkey just doesn't care.
Good
You're going
night.
to pop up. I'm going to whack a mole, he says. They do the flash high, which does result in another trade. It works in their favor into a 2-on-2. But, ooh, it's just so messy, so much action happening so quickly. Leggy now with the long peak, he is going to hit the shot, and that is going to be round 14. What is happening? What is I have no words.
It's a lack of discipline, and it's just unfortunate that this is how things are playing out right now. GAC just cannot string rounds together. Literally, out of the 6 rounds they have won, only two of them have come in succession. The other 4 rounds they have won, they lost the round immediately afterwards. You're not going to be competitive if you can't string rounds together. Especially when
No,
you're
for
going up
sure.
against 4 spies and you still can't secure the round. It's a problem.
No, 100% on
Oh
that.
man,
Leggy,
you can't do much about that though. That's just unfortunate. Straight up. Through the door,
yeah.
through the smoke, and he gets a kill. Like, there's not much you can say about that.
Well, Zane Insane actually
man.
finds himself in a pretty good position on short. He does huge damage with just an MP9, bringing him back to a 3-on-4. But there is a trade, as I say that, from EXE to make it that 3-on-4. Klasm goes for a peek through the doors. There's only one man towards B. They've got to realize that this is another A take about now, I think. But Royalty already in position. It's looking quite difficult for them to push into this. Donkey is going to be on short. It's not going to be an easy fight here for Klasm. He's going to peek around. None of them landing, or neither of them at least, landing their shots, but then Klasm manages to pull one through. He's going to be able to net himself an AK for that by the looks of things. Leggy gets, oh, God's Not Dead at least, gets taken down. Man, advantage now for the CTs. That gets quickly removed. The man long, Royalty, EXE, he's still on it. He's got 20 HP. Lord of War, can he get the trade? He gets the headshot, never mind. Just a shot to the chest, and they now win another round. But
what did we just witness, Reese? What did we just witness? He's got
this is
just
messy.
enough time to secure the defuse as well. My goodness gracious me, GAC just somehow getting it done with the 4 spy. They had nothing going their way, but they make the retake happen against all odds.
And this is the thing about Dust 2 that we were sort of, I think, alluding to earlier, where messy pub strats can actually work. And it just turned into a round somewhere in between.
Yeah, I'm literally going back and watching that round on the screen because I just don't understand how it played out. Lord of War with the Scout just did so much work, man. That guy is impressive with that weapon in his hand, but this is what I've spoken about a number of times. They win a round, they can't win the round thereafter. Let's see if they can finally get it done. It's do or die right now. 14-7. It is another 4 spy from Royalty. They've got 2 scouts, a couple upgraded pistols, and the MAC-10. And Zayn Insane's going to get aggressive. He pays the maximum price. At least he has got a teammate there to trade him out. Dazo continuing to do work with the scout as well. My God, his bullets are traces, and they're just connecting on everybody and everything right now. Donkey charging up long with some impressive hops. Will get taken down. And finally, normality is restored, Reese.
What normality? Lord of War just hit a 180. Did you see that? It was actually quite nuts. I'm quite surprised because I saw him on the X-ray, right? We can see like through that, and he just turns around and wow. Okay, that was a shot. That was a mean shot. I'm not gonna lie. That made my eyes wide there. I sort of had a good chuckle even. I really like the overly aggressive Mac-10 peeking as well, jumping
wait,
through.
what am I watching right now? Game is anonymous. You're going against an anti-eco. You're playing an anti-eco round. You're not the one ecoing. You don't need to push like this. And they've given up a bomb plant for free. All the information in the world came through as XE saw them all pushing up together. And all of a sudden, I don't want to say this has turned into a winnable situation because there surely is no way that Royalty can win this. There's 4 blocks left, but they get a bomb plant. And that in itself is already a success for Royalty. Let's see if they can do a bit of economic damage on top of that, yeah, with the Glocks. Maybe find a kill or 2. That would certainly be compiling their success in this round. Gamers Anonymous clan being patient in the retake here, crossing all their T's, dotting all their I's, throwing in the util, making sure that there is no way Royalty get it across the line. A kill for Leggy is all it will be, and GAC secure the defuse.
Yeah, and with it moving up to a 3-round loss bonus, now they're actually quite cash flush. 6.8k on EXE does mean that AWPs are going to be possible, full util for everybody, proper buys coming through. So, but critically, GAC strong 3 rounds together. So
Yeah,
even though
finally a bit of
rushing mid,
consistency and momentum. Finally. Let's see if
so
they can carry on though, Reese.
what we're saying is, even though rushing mid is counterintuitive, apparently you can win 3 rounds in a row like that.
I wouldn't put much stock and faith in that going forward. I'll tell you that much for free. They do have to
That's not
continue
great
to string the
consumer
rounds
advice.
together here, though. 3 is not enough. If they lose this, it's 15-9, and that is just going to be a tough, tall order for them to try and contend with. And Exy catches the timing there. They're not expecting to be there. Chasm gets caught in the open as well. It's a very messy spray from God's Not Dead. Eventually, though, he's able to get it across the line. And Lord of War, he's going to be pushing forward with the York. He receives the same treatment. And a bit of a team damage there as well from Doobie. Just keeping Exy on his toes. They want to go for Dazo, charging forward in towards CP, but he gets the collateral with the no-scope. Takes down both Exy and Doobie. My god. This guy is cracked with the scoped weapons. Doesn't matter if it's a scout or an orb. He does the damage. Lands another nice shot there as well. We saw him. He was prolific on Inferno. And he's been impressive here on Dust 2 as well. He does get taken down 15-9. That all-important round is lost. And now GAK have to win 6 consecutive rounds to take us to overtime, Reese.
That while they may not win the war, the battle of the oof out of 10 no scope definitely goes over to Dazo. That was just sick. Like you say, on the scoped weapons, he's showing some proper class and has kept his team in a lot of these rounds with that finesse of his. But a massive push now. Royalty is over it. They want to go home and go perhaps do some retakes before the end of the evening. They've decided enough is enough and they're going to start being aggressive. But Zane Insane says, no, we're going to keep you here in the server just that little bit longer. And Lord of War is solo on the site here. I do quite like his positioning. It does give him quite a lot of options to retreat towards T, towards short, or CT at least, towards short. But full stack there from Royalty. They are going to decide to go for the push now. It's the time to hold W, to separate the men from the boys. He's going to come in. He does get the dink, but it's not enough. Lord of War gets a thing. Juzubi gets a trade. Klasm picks himself up too, and now it's just Leggy left on the long possession. Time to jam.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some time here to maybe try and make something happen. He's got the bomb on his back as well, and it looks like he wants to try and get towards this B-bomb site. The question is whether Saber Fox is going to see him on the angle. No, Leggy, you can't afford to miss that shot, and he misses the second shot as well. And that right there was his only hope of winning the round, because now things are surmountably more difficult. They know exactly where he is, and they are covering all of his options. Actually trades shots with Dazo. He catches a second shot from Dazo. Does Dazo even miss? That's what I want to know. And he runs into Zane Insane with his knife out. Gamers Anonymous clan are still alive.
They are not going down without a fight. I absolutely love the spirit, to be very honest with you. It's never over until the fat lady sings. I think the most prevalent example of that in sort of the last 2 years was Simple's fumbled knife on Nitro versus Liquid, and that comeback that they ran. If there's anything to go on, this is not over yet.
Yeah, I mean, there is still life in this game. Let's see, can GAK continue to do what's required of them? The next task that needs to be dealt with is this anti-eco round. It seems like they've already done what's required of them. Shut down that initial B aggression, and there's surely no way Royalty can get much done here. Just a couple Glocks or a Glock, a Desert Eagle, and a Scout. A mere formality, but whoa, Doobie missed an opportunity there to take down Zane Insane. That's unfortunate.
But much better discipline from GAK this time, not overextending, overplaying their hands. I like this change of pace to go from like aggressive to more disciplined, and maybe perhaps just mixing it up like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, is taken the sort of feel all out of Royalty, and Dube is now going to be pushing into Saber Fox. He takes an early pre-fire at him, doesn't manage to pick up the shot, which is going to leave Dube still in this area. If he picks up Saber Fox, there is support coming in from behind. He's got to be aware now of a potential flank.
If Doobie wins this, okay, cool. I was gonna say I'll pay for the mortgage on your next house.
I was just hoping for a P250 Stan Brown, bro.
No. I'm going the full Monty. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. 15-11 here in the Evesports EGL 1 2020 main event, the opening match in the upper bracket between Royalty and Gamers Anonymous Clan. We've got games every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 for the next 7 weeks, guys. It is one main event, one double elimination bracket, one double elimination bracket that's being played over 7 weeks, so we can catch as much action as possible. We can see all the games, all these storylines playing out. Normally, we have the double elimination bracket playing out over an entire weekend, and it's just like so much action. You miss so many games. Now we've got the time, so we're using it to our advantage. Royalty looking to try and finish off this match towards the B-bomb site. They trade successfully into the site. As I said that though, Zane Insane does get a kill onto God's Not Dead, gaining that one-man advantage as they have to win this round. They push straight through the smoke. XE holding down mouse button 1, somehow doesn't land the bullets on his teammate, but he certainly does land the bullets on the 2 aggressing CT players. And now it's just SaberFox left in the 1 versus 2 to try and keep his team's hopes and dreams alive. Or are they going to be dropping down into the lower bracket here in their opening game and Royalty progress? Does SaberFox have what it takes? He knows that he's rooted in the corner, but he just walks into Xe's crosshair and gets taken down. And that is the first match done and dusted. Royalty securing the 2-0.
Yeah, not in the fashion we were expecting. I think GAC showing some quality in their teamwork, and like I said, backbones made from literally solid granite and diamonds to just run up mid 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane scenes here. But
Man.
this is the beauty of this kind of setup, because you have teams that perhaps don't play in a standard fashion who do crazy things like this, and very, very entertaining, I must say. For our first game, I was not from your recounts and experience, of Royalty and expectation. I think GAC really showed up to play today.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed by what they brought to the table on Dust 2. I think they left a lot to be desired. They could have done more is what I'm trying to get at. Like, they won some solid rounds, but they just couldn't string it together on their T side in particular. They changed things up quite a lot when they probably just sort of should have kept things basic and continued to persist with taking shorts and working onto the A side. It was kind of working a bit better for them than the other things they were trying. But the ingredients are there, right? And they showed that they have the potential, and there was a reason that they picked us 2 at the end of the day. So going forward into the lower bracket, I think this team certainly does have the potential to make a bit of a run and keep themselves alive here in the EGL 1 2020 main event.
And well, it still was a 2-0. I think you're exactly right. I also think that on Inferno, they were, like you said, a bit too static on the CT side. If they had rotated Dazo and the AWP off of B earlier to set up for those Royalty pushes, they would have put themselves in a better position at that point in time. I think that all things considered, the Royalty read and their reading of the map and scenario was so on point. The way that they would just get the info and make the call and go for the push, that really decisive CS definitely won them this at the end of the day.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed the way that Royalty approached their T side on Inferno in particular. It was meticulous. They had good discipline. The structure was there, and it was just a well-rounded T side by the book. And it was really pleasing on the eye, I must say. If anybody who didn't join us for the first map, Royalty, they were down 2-5 at one stage, and they won the map 16-6 as soon as they found their footing. The rest was history. On Dust 2, they were also in a very commanding position. It was like 14-7 or 15-8 at one stage, and GAC actually started to make a bit of a comeback or just show a bit of fight in the game. They took it to 15-10, but Royalty closed that up from there. They continued to work on through this upper bracket. They dropped GAC down to the lower bracket, and that is game 1 done and dusted. We're going to be back again on Thursday with another match. Same time, same place. Reese, any final words before I let you go?
No, thank you to everybody for coming through and watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. And guys, like I say, from next week, we are going to be doing on-stream giveaways, and I'm going to let Matt literally throw digital things at your faces. So please do come and join us for that. I think we've got a nice program set up for you guys, like you said, with that protracted event schedule and that sort of stuff. So there will be, a couple of hours of CS every week, and then culminating in that finals weekend. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be juicy, to say the least.
Absolutely is. You guys heard it from Reese's mouth to your ears. Make sure you join us for that next stream because there's going to be things to be won, as well as some amazing Counter-Strike. If that wasn't enough of a reason, come for the giveaways as well. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined us this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. This has been the Evesports EGL 1 2020 main event, the opening game. Royalty walk away with the win. We're going to be walking away from the stream. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a great rest of your evening. Until we then, goodbye.
Cheers.